is located between Laramie and Cheyenne, Wyoming, off of I-80. It is open seasonally. It does have first come, first serve campsites, and it is $10 a night. So let's start our adventure. Hi guys. Today I'm going to show you just how we pack up for a trip. Sorry, I'm sweating. It's hot outside. It's probably like 90 degrees and I'm just trying to get everything packed here, as you can see. So let me show you what I got. So we're just going to be gone for a few days, a short trip. So I just have a few things for snacks. So I've got some, and these can stay in the van. They're just little gummy candies, a couple Cliff Bars, some cinnamon bears, some asparagus, some rice snacks, tortilla chips. I'm going to try these boil and bag rices this time with a meal that we're going to make. Some condiments. I usually bring fresh condiments just because we're not full-timers, so we're on the road, obviously, for like a few days at a time, and then we come home for a week or so, so I don't want to use new condiments. We just use them in our house when we get back. Then we've got some bagels for breakfast. I've got some bread for me, some veggies for the dinner we're gonna make. I've tried pre-cutting the veggies. I kind of like cutting them in camp if I can. I just think they taste fresher. So I got some mushrooms. I got some tortillas for Mike, and I got my cozy for my LaCroix. So I gotta put those in the fridge in a little bit. And then just in the refrigerator right this time, I got some chicken marinating right here, some salsa. We're gonna do a kielbasa packet thing. I got a couple eggs. I just got this container. I'll let you know how it works. But I like that it's plastic and it won't get damp or anything in there. Some deli meat, some potato salad and some mashed potatoes, some carrots, some chocolate for dessert. Gotta keep it in the fridge. Cream cheese, butter, a couple of cans of Canada Dry, and I'll put some LaCroix in here. I'm gonna put my water down here. And in the freezer, I have my ice maker, which I will show you in a favorite things video that I'm doing. And I have some frozen veggies for my dinner tonight. So let's get going. So what we do with the food, just to bring it out from the house to the van, is I just have a really large Whole Foods bag, and then I keep all the dry food in this, and I just put it underneath the table while we're traveling, because obviously there's not a lot of cabinet space in the van, and since we're not full-timers, I don't need to get any kind of permanent things. I do have some room in the pantry, which you'll see I have some coffee and just some staple foods. I put our snacks back there. I have an extra pan and some breakfast stuff, some potato stuff, some canned stuff, just stuff in case we run out or we get stuck somewhere. Just good to have. And we don't have mice where we live, but I caution against this if you do have mice in your area. I have also changed this area that is above the sink. I added a paper towel holder. So far so good. We'll see how it goes. And I just moved our coffee stuff to this side, our cutting board and knife. Our pans are underneath there. Some miscellaneous stuff in here in my koozie. I did get some couple bowls, some paper plates and bowls just in case. And I got these Corral plates. We're gonna try them. They're nice and big, sturdy. So I'll let you know how those work out. And we're off. And this was Sunday traffic. I drove up on Sunday, and if you do come here, I-25 can get a little backed up to I-80, so just be cautious that it might take a little bit of time. And P.S. I was not holding the phone while I was driving. And here's the entrance to the Vedauwoo Campground. As you can see, it's $10 a day. This is the pay station. Kind of looking out into the main road, and then in a second we'll start walking down the campsites. And this is walking towards the rocks and our campsite. We stayed in site 18, as you'll see in a minute. I was walking around the site when I got there. Really beautiful, lots of wildflowers around, and everything was really green. I was really surprised at how green it was. And just look at those rocks. They're perfect for rock climbers, and you will see a lot of people climbing the rocks in this area, which I think is super cool. This is our campsite, Site 18. Really close to these rocks, as you can see. Fire pit, picnic table, was pretty level. We don't have leveling blocks yet. I would say we are probably going to get some. Just want to make sure you can sleep. But you can see your neighbors, so that is something to be aware of. If you are camping here, you do kind of have limited privacy. But the fire pit was really great, and there's all these little paths that lead out of every campsite that you can get onto trails and walk around the rocks. It is a nice place to talk to people. You will see people, and you can wave and be nice and chat with them on the trail. This is going up to some tent sites that were by Site 18. There's some paths that go over to the rocks, so climbers can get over there. When you're up here, though, you can really hear I-80. Again, you're going to be able to hear the highway from this location, but it is beautiful. So these were the sites that I was just up at, 17, 15. Those ones by the rocks are for tents only. Be a good place to camp on a tent, though. So those are these tent sites, 16, 17, 18. You can just drive up and camp right by the rocks. We are in 18, which is for trailers and so forth. There's some neighbors or some bathrooms right up there. So after I was walking around the campground, it started to sprinkle a little bit. So I worked on my crossword book, and I just listened to the rain, and I watched some TV for a little bit. And the rain stopped, and I was able to make a campfire so that I could cook dinner. Alright guys, I'm out here camping, as you can see, at Vedauwoo. Got my fire going, and I'm going to make some chicken on it. Pretty excited. So I went ahead and put it on some foil, as you can see, and hopefully be eaten in about 30 minutes. So I started with my grate, but it wasn't close enough, so I moved it down to the grate from the campground. Chicken is looking good. Oh yeah. Get that campfire flavor in there. So I just added some frozen vegetables right to the chicken, and I just let it kind of steam and release the chicken. It was really good. And I went ahead and added some salt and garlic powder to this. Just, I had marinated the chicken, but I wanted it to cook in that. And here's the final dinner. I heated up some of those mashed potatoes I brought, had some barbecue sauce, and this dinner was phenomenal. Make it when you go camping. And I just watched the sun go down. The great thing about this is when the sun sets, it turns the rocks this really cool orange color. So enjoy the view for a minute. Day 2, Monday. I started by waking up to the sun and, of course, having my coffee and some water. I love this view. Sitting in the jump seat of the Winnebago is so nice, but this spider scared me to death when I was sitting down. I watched some people climb for a few hours. Then Mike showed up and he brought me a soda and we had sandwiches. And then we went to explore the area a little bit, including the picnic area. This is the area, and you can see these tent locations in the background. This is just the top of where we were camping. There is a lot of picnic and tent areas in this area. If you drive down the road, you'll see a gazebo. That area has a really large fire pit, and you can walk around the rocks in this area. It's really great if you have a large group of people, and there is a way to reserve the gazebo for events. Mike and I took separate paths, so I'm almost stalking him here from the top. If you really like to climb rocks and kind of explore, this area is great for kids as well. It's fun to jump from rock to rock and kind of look down at people that are with you. Now, this is the picnic area. Really nice paved path. It does loop around. There are several really awesome picnic sites with fire rings. Some of them are actually overgrown because people don't use them, and then some of them, like that one, are used all the time. Again, this is a really nice place to picnic, tent camp, and then also camp in your rig. This was the cutest picnic site. It was all secluded in the middle of a meadow, and I love this rock. It looks like a face. Dinner night 2. Tonight we're going to make some foil packets with some onions, peppers, mushrooms, zucchini, and some smoked sausage. Mike got the fire ready for me, and I prepped dinner. I did have this McCormick's Smokewood Maple, I believe, Smokehouse Maple. It's really tasty, and it was perfect in this. You do need a little butter or oil just so that everything doesn't stick and burn. And then we also made some rice to go with it.
Is that fire gonna be okay?
Up. We cooked these for about 40-45 minutes, rotated them every 5 minutes. As you can see, it's really hot. Mike didn't have his gloves, so make sure you have a oven mitt if you're going to flip them. This was really good and a great way to get a lot of veggies in while you're camping and not a salad. Highly recommend foil packets if you haven't tried them before. This was our final day. We just hung out a little bit in the camp in the morning. We did make some hash browns, ham, and eggs. I love these Hungry Jack dehydrated ones. They work really well on the flat top. As you can see here, this is our breakfast, and Mike enjoying the morning. We had a really good time here, and we do recommend checking it out. All right, guys, that was our adventure to Vedauwoo, whatever you want to call it. We had a really good time here. It's definitely someplace that is, it feels kind of untapped, but it's not. It's right off of I-80, so if you do go, you are going to get some noise from the highway, so just be aware of that. It's not going to be completely quiet or anything like that. It's a really interesting place. The rocks are really cool. I would like to go up further north into more of the parks and stuff there, because I've heard there's some really good trails. I would definitely say the picnic area, if you're just driving between Laramie and Cheyenne and you want to get off the highway and you want to have a picnic or whatever you want to do. I thought that was really cool. Awesome picnic tables, fire pits for picnics, great for groups if you have like a lot of people, plenty of parking, little trails if you want to go ahead and just have a hike when you're out driving. Highly recommend that. The campground, you are very close to the people around you. So if you're somebody that likes like a lot of privacy, probably not going to be for you, because you're going to see people hiking and climbing on the rocks, and they're going to be walking through. They won't walk through your campsite, but they'll definitely be walking around and exploring the area, which I think is cool. It's only $10 a night. It's right off of I-80. From what I've read, it is seasonal, so just make sure you watch out for that. I heard the winters get pretty hairy in this area, especially if a storm goes. It's super windy in this area, but for some reason when I was there, it wasn't windy the whole time. It was actually pretty calm. I don't know if it's because it's higher up or not. I don't know that part. There is also boondocking in this area, so if you cannot find a campsite, since there's just two small loops, there's a road, it's marked, you can go down it. It's very washboardy, so it's not for class A's. It's probably not for all trailers. If you have a van like we do, front wheel drive, Dodge, you'll be fine. If you have a Mercedes, you'll be fine. It's very washboardy, but there are some really cool boondocking sites that are free. So check that out if that's something that interests you. I hope you guys found this interesting. Have some more trips planned for September. And we'll talk a little bit more about the RV and kind of what's going on with like stuff we want to get done. Mike's also looking to get a new bike because his mountain bike doesn't work anymore. So just some adventures coming up, and I hope you're safe, and thanks for watching. Bye.